What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I am making another Destiny video. Pretty much this video is going to be about about the story, about the lore. And in my last Destiny video, I was talking about like me having troubles keeping myself in the area, anchoring myself and all that. And I had found myself an anchor. An anchor is lore videos. Lore videos. I know it seems a little lame, but it's the best I can do for now until I can get better at staying focused on the subject and all stuff. So it's gonna be like a slow walking kind of thing. I there's a word, just can't think of it. But yeah, but mostly this video is going to be about a game theory that I've been hoping slash wishing that would become a reality. Because I have some issues with the witness and all that stuff. But Myelin here has made a video that almost perfectly aligns with my game theory. So we're going to be watching it. I watched mostly about almost half of it, but I wanted to, make a video about it. So we're going to watch it from the beginning to the end. And I'll be pausing a couple times, giving you guys my thoughts and all that stuff. So let's get started.
Welcome back, Guardians. It's been a few weeks now since Us's big reveal about the Witness. When this cutscene first came out, it made quite a few people unhappy, including myself, as it appeared to confirm that the unveiling lore book was fabricated by the Witness, and that we couldn't trust what was said in that book, as some of it may be truth and some of it may be lies. Later, it was confirmed by the narrative team during a round table with games media that yes, the unveiling lore book was written by the Witness and that we cannot trust it. So that's it, right? The unveiling lore book is told from the perspective of the winnower, so that means the winnower is the witness, right? Well, not quite. It is definitely possible that the winnower is still separate from the witness and potentially the one to first corrupt and influence the witness. Another name that has been forgotten in Destiny is the Formless One. Let me explain. But before starting this video
That's going to be it's sponsored part of the video, so let's skip that. But yeah, I never, truly told, I have never heard about the Formless One.
is just a theory, a game theory. I actually have a team of people that help with researching lore scripts, and this one is definitely a group effort, which is great. It means you don't just get my opinion, but you get others. If you only take away one thing from this video, it should be that there is still so much we don't know about the Destiny universe.
And that is very true. Okay, there's a lot of things in Destiny we have not even all the answers to. Like from D1, pretty much D2 now. Like there has been answers in D1 that came from D2, I believe, but not all of them have been answered, if I remember right. I know for sure there's still a lot of things in D1 that have not gotten answered. Same thing in D2, as we speak. So yeah, it's crazy. And there's a lot of things in the lore that isn't too important that you kind of wonder, like, what's going on, all that stuff. Like, there's characters out there that you may not know, and you're like, huh, what are these guys doing right now? Like, but let's continue on.
Okay, let's start with a brief refresher on the Unveiling lore book if you're unfamiliar. Feel free to skip ahead. Unveiling is a lore book from Shadowkeep in which an entity referred to as the Winnower tells a creation mythos for the Destiny universe. It explained that it is an embodiment of primordial darkness that has existed since before the universe began, and also tells us of the Gardener, a being that embodies primordial light. Have a listen to the Gardener and Winnower lore entry. It reads, "Once upon a time, a gardener and a winnower lived together in a garden. It was once before a time because time had not yet begun. We did not live, we existed as principles of ontological dynamics that emerged from mathematical structures as bodies and inevitable as the primes. It was the field of possibility that prefigured existence. They existed because they had to exist. They had no antecedent and no constituents, and there is no instrument of causality by which they could be portioned into components and assigned to some schematic of their origin. If you followed the umbilical of history in search of some ultimate atavistic embryo that became them, you would end your journey marooned here, in this garden." Over the course of the book, the Gardener and the Winnower have a disagreement, which eventually turns violent, and the two engage in an epic battle that results in the creation of the Destiny universe. I should say,
now, before it continues on saying that, oh, like, Bungie says, the witness saying those things about like how the universe was created or whatever. I don't say it, but when I hear that and like, from those words and think about it, I'm like, and from what we have right now, I'm like, imagine if that is true. Let's say before I guess before witness, definitely before the witness's civilization, it was just travelers and maybe pyramids. Let's just say the gardener had a lot of gardeners and the winner had a lot of winners, and they coexisted. They did their things, that they do, and all that stuff. But of course, the gardener doesn't want to do their things anymore. They gave some new life to things that should not have new life, and the winners realized that and had a big fight. That's what I kind of think. It's like this has been a big battle started over that, and the only survivor is our traveler that landed or crash landed on that planet for a very long time. Because it's not said in the lore saying that the traveler crash landed. It was buried. Looks like it's buried. So it could have been crash landed on that planet for a very, very long time, and it just looks like it was buried. Just saying. So that's just like a theory that I kind of popped up right now. But yeah.
Say that it is worth noting two things about unveiling. Firstly, that the entire story of the Gardener and the Winnower is an allegory, as the narrative team has confirmed in a Bungie roundtable. It didn't happen as the Winnower described, it's all a metaphor to help us understand the creation of the universe and the origins of light and darkness. Secondly, this is all from the Winnower's perspective, or more accurately, the witness telling the story from the Winnower's perspective. So the narrative of unveiling is going to have some bias, or potentially even be deliberately misleading. With that out the way, let's watch the witness's origins again, and then I'll start going over things.
Before you can confront the witness, you must understand it. The witness's first victims were once like you, struggling for survival, bolstered by hope, until their hopes became reality.
Like, I don't know, doesn't that look like it's been there, like, for a very, very long time, but, like, not too long? They just crash land there, and earth, and the wind, and all that covered it for a very long time. Like, I just, that's maybe just me, but I just feel like that makes sense, it crash landed and a very long time ago. The earth, nature, whatever this is, can't tell if it's sand or whatever, dirt, all stuff, covered it. They look like this, I don't know, just saying.
They called it the Gardener, their deity of life. It ushered them into a golden age. For eons they prospered, but their newfound god never spoke to them. It lavished them with gifts, but not with guidance. And though they lived in paradise, they came to crave a greater purpose. They desired meaning, structure, a winnower, to shape the garden. Their scholars discovered that the gardener shared a connection with another entity among the stars. They called it the Veil, and when they found it, they arrived to claim it. They already knew much about the light, how it could bend the laws of the universe and create life. But they came to realize that it could bring ruin just as easily. The cosmic events it set in motion could wipe out entire civilizations in a heartbeat, without reason. And so they saw the light, not as a source of prosperity, but of unfettered chaos. By studying the Veil, they came to know the darkness. A power that was shaped by thought and consciousness. And in the darkness...
Now this has been a question for a very long time, since, I believe, Shadowkeep. We've seen this statue, and, we don't have much information, but a lot of us, maybe not a lot, maybe a couple, have thought of the Veil as this statue. I don't think a lot of us has, but I believe a big portion of the Destiny community believed that the Veil was the statue. And maybe it's not. Maybe it's the darkness itself that is this statue, is the formless one, you know? Because, like, we don't see any other statues of the cutscene about the backstory of the witness people and all that stuff. They don't make statues of that. They got statues when they studied the bloody veil. That's us. And this is the thing. Is that we have the whole, concept of the veil as a woman. Like, I remember watching this video where someone said that the veil, means woman and all that stuff. So it kind of fits with how in D1 there's a, if you remember the D1 trailer, it shows astronaut landing on Mars, find the traveler, it's raining. There's a somewhat concept kind of pre-built trailer, whatever it's called, of that scene, but instead of the traveler, it's a woman, a glowing white woman. And I'm like, this is a hint, maybe an old hint, that whatever's inside of the traveler or whatever's controlling the traveler is a being, a white woman being, and it might be the same thing with darkness, because if it's not the darkness, then it's just a child of the darkness that, or a dude that is using the darkness and all that stuff, the whole witnessing issue with that. But yeah, like, seriously, you gotta think about that, because it makes sense. Because you have veiled, dressed woman, all that stuff, covering up. Maybe that's why, there's no face, nothing. It's formless. It has no form, but it has somewhat of a shape, I guess. Final shape. But yeah, kind of makes sense in a way, but that's just my theory. I don't think he has said anything about this at all in the video, but that's my take of it. Alright.
They found the means to carve away the chaos of existence, to calcify it into a final shape. Eternal and perfected. They brought the veil back to the gardener in an attempt to strengthen their connection. There, they could reshape reality itself. The gardener would not allow it, and so it fled their world. But they would not be deterred. Having witnessed the truth in the darkness, they used its binding power to merge themselves into the salvation they craved. Thus began the witnesses' pursuit.
You do gotta wonder, like, how many of the people actually agreed upon this? Like if humanity had a traveler, you gotta wonder, like, if humanity was the one that found the traveler buried and all that stuff, would we do this? Like, I feel like we wouldn't. So you gotta wonder, like, were there actually not people that wanted to do it? Like, cause, like, looking at this, you got all these, like, bodies and stuff and pieces. I'm like, it feels like they had a civil war. Like there was a big giant fight against, should we go and chase it and all that stuff, and some big nut freaking scientist guy that was crazed about taking control and changing things, convinced people with the power of the veil and all that stuff. I'm probably I'm talking about my theory, but I just feel like, taking away my theory, this just looks like something that a crazy maniac people or group of the people that just did this to their own people, their own kind, just to get what they want. Selfish act. But I don't know. Maybe they were that nuts. Maybe they were so driven madness. But I will say this in my one theory, my little hint to my theory. Maybe the veil corrupted them all. Maybe they all took turns visiting it, looking at it, listening, and all gone mad.
They used its binding power to merge themselves into the salvation they craved. Thus began the witnesses' pursuit. Its campaign to impose meaning on a meaningless universe. One that is nearly at its end.
At a glance, this cutscene does seem to discredit portions of the unveiling lorebook, confirming what we know, that it can't be trusted. Specifically, the cutscene implies that the Winnower is a concept created by the Witness's people, not a pre-existing entity. The same goes for the term the Gardener, which is used to refer to the Traveller. The use of the terms the Gardener and the Winnower, combined with the fact that we received the unveiling lorebook from the Black Fleet, helps confirm that this was the Witness who spoke to us in those entries. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that the entirety of the unveiling lorebook is untrue. In the weeks leading up to the Origins cutscene, Asa gives us several messages, which when put together actually describe the events that we see in the Witness cutscene. In the third message, which talks about the discovery of the Veil and attempting to link it with the Traveller, we are told this.
Shrouded in darkness. A promise of something more. Two halves of a whole. Long divided. A schism between them. Reunited. A glimpse beyond. To the beginning.
When the Witness's people attempted to link the Veil and the Traveller, they were given a glimpse of the beginning. Unveiling itself is a story about the beginning of the universe, so perhaps the Witness is telling us its interpretation of those events.
We were told when I was listening to this, I pretty much just took it as Worm, I forgot her name. The Worm Whale was talking about Savathun and her sister Zero Wrath, uniting, being a family, a new beginning, and also that's what I assume. Like she was hinting us to bring back Savathun and reunite them to fix this whole mess with the hive. But, of course I didn't think that was correct. But that's what I first thought, in my head. I'm like, well, what's going on here? We have Zero Wrath. She's angry and all that stuff. And, she's sad about her, her pretty much her sisters, but we can say brother and sister dead also. So it kind of makes sense to me. But now hearing this, I'm like, oh, okay. That also makes sense. And that also pops a theory in my head, but later.
What it saw at that glimpse beyond. We know that the Veil contains the memories of the universe, so this makes complete sense. The Witness accessed the memories of the universe and then interpreted them, retold them, manipulated them into the unveiling lorebook, which we then read. This still doesn't answer the question though, does that mean the Witness fabricated the entity of the Winnower? Or did the Witness actually get a glimpse of this entity, the Winnower, and just pose as it? There is quite a bit of evidence that there is a big baddie within the darkness, something above the Witness.
Boom. Boom, boom, boom. This is exactly what I've been thinking about. It's like there's gotta be an actual true darkness, because it can't be a light and dark saga without the actual real darkness. Because if there's no real darkness entity, then it's just the Traveler versus, a guy that uses the darkness because the Traveler ditched him, went to go get milk, and all that stuff. So it makes sense. There has to be a darkness entity, and that's kind of what I'm hoping. If it's not, then Bungie is doing something wrong.
A puppeteer. To untangle this mystery, our next breadcrumb comes from the Veil containment research logs, specifically Maya Sundaresh's interactions with the Veil. When Maya first encounters the Veil, she claims that something speaks to her, telling her the Veil's name and leading her down a path to salvation. Have a listen to the second research log.
Chioma Essie, research log, the Veil. I don't even know where to start. When we landed on Neptune, there was something waiting for us. An alien structure. It's an electromagnetic anomaly. No mass, but a tangible surface area. It's like a thesis statement to the von Neumann-Wigner hypothesis. It's definitely paracausal, like the Traveler. Maya calls it the Veil. She says she heard the name in a whisper when she looked at it. When I asked her who whispered, she said it was her own voice. I still haven't had time to process that.
Now, I want to pause this because, like, some people might be saying this in Mylin's chat. It's like, oh, who else has used your own voice? The witness, also. But what if that isn't true? What if it's a darkness ability? Or what if it's the darkness itself, acting like it is the witness and just mostly sending out a message? But then again, the whole, Clone Us and Shadowkeep definitely was doing a witness kind of style, but at the same time, I feel like was the witness talking to us, sending that message to us about salvation? I feel like it would be different. I feel like the witness would call upon us again, talking to us. So I feel like it could be the darkness. This could be just a theory, but I think it's been debunked, saying that you know someone confirmed it or Bungie confirmed it that was the witness that was talking to us also. But if it didn't, that would be my theory. That was the actual darkness talking to us, not the witness. But yeah.
Everyone on the initial survey team died. The minute they touched the object, they entered a state of brain death. All of them. To make it worse, the EM radiation emitting from the veil is causing psychological distress in the exos that came with us. They've all described moments of intense, hallucinogenic reverie. Some of them went silent and rigid and just stopped. Maya called it billboarding. Something from the early days of Clovis Bray's Exomind project. She doesn't seem afraid or surprised. She's convinced this thing, in her own words, she says, it'll be our salvation.
When we hear the word salvation, we automatically assume this is the witness, because it is the witness that constantly says to us they are our salvation. However, at this stage, the veil is hidden from the witness. Savathun stole it and hid it on Neomuna. It is definitely possible that the witness is influencing Maya through the veil, as we do see this strange connection in Lightfall. However, what is also possible is that there is a higher entity that is corrupting Maya, and they also corrupted the witness. This is why both Maya and the witness refer to their salvation. This provides opportunity for the Winnower to exist as a completely different entity that has been pulling on all these strings all along. The cool thing is, Week 8's Veil containment log kind of solidified this theory even further, with Maya seemingly going down the exact same path as the witness all those years ago. Have a listen to the 8th research log.
Chioma SE. Research log. Veil interface. Supplemental. They're all dead. Chorus. Conductor. Everyone. It was too much. Swept their minds away like grains of sand on a beach. They're all dead. Maya called it valuable data points. Well springs and rivers are something. What have I done?
Derek, this killed their entire research team, but it sounds like, it's
like their lives held no value to Dr. Sunderish. There's a troubling symmetry with data we've recovered from Titan. Data on the origin of the witness. It too was once multiple people that became conjoined by the way of some sort of ritual with a veil. Perhaps a conductor and a chorus. It is troubling that Dr. Sunderish seemed to be moving down that same path.
This suggests that the veil, or whoever is communicating through the veil, was influencing Maya to act, very similarly to what happened to the witness, which begs the question, were the witness's people also influenced by the veil? We know that they had previously desired a winnower, but it was only after studying the veil that they discovered the final shape. Is something behind the veil speaking through it, influencing and corrupting those who make contact with the veil? The Inspiral lore book from Lightfall could be used as evidence. The meaning lore entry is a tricky lore entry because we don't know who is speaking or the perspective of the lore entry. Early speculation suggests that this is the witness speaking, mainly because the witness sought purpose and meaning, and the lore entry is literally called meaning, and also because of the opening line, which reads, "A dream of a metaphor made starkly." an allegory discussed in study of ontology, in darkness not unkind. That literally sounds like the witness seeing the creation of the universe from the veil and then making the unveiling law book, which is an allegory. If this is indeed from the witness's point of view, it confirms that something higher up influenced the witness and their civilization, creating this idea of the final shape. Have a listen to the law entry meaning. It reads, "There is a voice that echoes across the darkness, and it asks this question: what is the purpose of it all? And there is another voice that calls back and says, listen, I will tell you a purpose. I will tell you of a final shape. Look, there are 100 gildings for this story. It comes down to one key matter. Beings in suffering crave purpose to carry them through. The tyrant consumed by ennui, or the disenfranchised struggling simply to survive. It is the state of mind, the pain which cries out, give me a reason I should suffer so." This law entry may suggest that there is something else in the darkness, something that is guiding those in contact with it towards the final shape. And we have a couple of different names now: the winnower, the formless one. If we go back and revisit the lore from the Witch Queen expansion, Savathun actually talks about this, how the witness is just a child of the darkness, a tool to enact the wishes of the formless one.
We talked before. What is the witness?
I don't think I listened to this one. I must have missed this one.
This is the truth. The witness is the child of darkness. Those who say there is no final shape, that darkness exists in perfect formless neutrality, liars. Takes one to know one. The darkness will eat everything, and its shape will be the witness's teeth.
So if Savathun is to be believed, there is a greater force behind the darkness. But of course, this is Savathun, so we can't really take her word for it. So let's look at another source, the Traveler. In the Constellations lore book, we see the Traveler trying to communicate with a speaker during the collapse, warning them of a false sister. Have a listen to the lore entry. "This has happened before. I'd watched in my dreams the cities that fell, alien cities, torn down by a wind so fierce that it flattened an entire world. And it is not my fault. But this is different. The Traveler has not left us. Something new, half remembered and wished forgotten. This false sister has arrived." We assume
I think that helps me a little bit with my theory. Remember when I said that the veil was a female, was a woman? Because we thought from the concept art of Destiny 1's trailer of the Traveler being a female. What if this is true? What if they're both somewhat sisters? One is a sister of light, one is a sister of darkness. This false sister is meaning that this sister does not come to salvation, to trick you, lie to you, make you do her bidding. Sounds kind of right, but it's just theory.
this false sister is the witness. The witness was there at the collapse. So does this imply the presence of a true sister? Of course, we have the veil, but as far as we can tell, it doesn't seem to be able to act on its own. So if there is a true sister of the Traveler out there somewhere, why haven't we seen more evidence of them? Well, it all comes down to the nature of the darkness. Cyrus calls light the domain of the physical, and darkness is about consciousness and thought, the non-physical. The Leviathan in the Books of Sorrow also confirms this, stating that the war between light and dark is a war between form and formlessness. So it stands to reason that an entity of darkness would also be non-physical. The King's Fall Warlock armor even seems to hint at this, referring to something called the Formless One. Have a listen to the grasp of ear flavor text. They read, "At the beginning they stood in thrall of the Formless One, and they offered themselves to its depth. They had a choice. They chose the hunger. They chose the Formless One. They chose the worm gods." Now, of course, this could be referring to the witness, but it doesn't quite fit. The witness has a form. We and many others in the Destiny universe have seen it. Putting all these pieces together, we get the concept of a formless sister of the Traveler in the darkness, something that matches the entity we've come to know as the Winnower. And this is where things tie back to the veil. We know that it's easier to form a connection to darkness in its presence. This is how Guardians were able to discover Strand on Neomuna. So it stands to reason this works the other way too. If there was something in the cosmic web of darkness, it too would have an easier time forging connections to people in the presence of the Veil. And I believe this is what happened with the Witness and later Myelin Game. This Winnower seduced them with the promise of salvation, the promise of a final shape. And with that, that concludes this latest Destiny 2 lore episode. If you'd like to support the channel and cannot leave a comment, you can leave the word The Winnower. As usual, it's been a pleasure. This is Myelin Games. Peace.
With all this information with Myelin and his group, actually getting actual hints and theories together, it makes sense, you know. And of course, you know, to me, as someone that, you know, played this game for 9 years, somewhat followed the lore and story, it makes sense that there's an actual darkness entity that actually is controlling the Witness, is telling the Witness what to do, you know? And the thing is, from what Myelin says, Veil, the voice behind the Veil, whichever, is lying about the final shape. There is a final shape, but not the final shape we want. Not the final shape that the Witness wants. The final shape, I feel like, is actually bringing back the darkness. And this is just my theory. I feel like the Veil is some type of key or some type connection to the darkness, like a telephone, so what if the Traveler trapped the entity, another Veil, or maybe the actual entity of the darkness inside the Traveler, or in this dimension that the Traveler lives or created to keep the darkness hidden, locked up, all stuff. And Veil is the key. But I feel like it makes sense, but it might not. I definitely agree with Myelin about this theory because it 100% makes sense. Because all the stuff. So I like this video. I really appreciate it. I say go like it. Go check it out if you want to just watch it by yourselves without me stopping. But yeah, I really enjoyed this video. I think this was a really good video. I definitely think this is a possibility, an actual theory that might become a reality. I really hope so, because there's a lot of theories out there, like game theories, that you always wish was real, but I really hope this is actually legit real. It makes sense. It kind of fits. There's always something behind the curtains of controlling the strings, you know? So it makes sense. I feel like it definitely makes sense. And I could go on and on about, like, you know, my theory or like theories that pop in my head, but this 100% makes sense. And if we can get some more like hints or theories, it'd be kind of cool if if I could get like a convo going on, a conversation, discussion about this stuff. It'd be kind of fun, you know? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Even though I didn't really talk much or give a lot of my theories, mostly just have my reasons. Hopefully we can get past those issues and do better. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, peace!